Hello again, second graders. Our learning target for today is going to be very similar to yesterday. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding 2-digit numbers to 3-digit numbers, okay? Just like we did yesterday. So let's get started. We have two price tags here. One is $32, one is $247. I'm going to give you just a couple of seconds to turn on your estimating brain and tell me what you think the total cost might be. All right? Go ahead. You can pause the video if you need some more time. Are you ready? Okay, I'm going to tell you how my thinking worked. I knew that it would have to stay in the 200s, okay? And then I just added 30 and 40 together, and I knew in a snap that was 70. So I think it might be about 270, probably closer to 280 because of the 7 in the ones place. But to figure out the exact total, I'm wondering, would it be easier to start with 32 and then add 247, or start with 247 and then add 32? What do you think? Just call it out. Which one would be easier? I hope everyone said to start with 247, right? It's much easier to add on the smaller number. We don't want to make more work for ourselves. So, what are some tools that you could use to help figure out this total? Go ahead and call them out. What are some tools we could use? I'm thinking about the tools we have in the classroom. We have counters, right? We have 100, base 10 blocks. We have hundreds charts. We have number lines. Okay, there are so many different tools. We have our brains. We have some paper. So I'm going to show you how to do this with hundreds blocks. Unfortunately, I do not have any hundreds blocks, and I bet you guys don't have a ton, if any, of hundreds blocks at your house. But that's totally fine because we can draw our hundreds blocks and it works just as well, right? So let me show you how we can do that. So 247 plus 32. First thing we want to look at is our hundreds. Is there a number in the hundreds spot that we're adding? There is not. So how many hundreds are there when we add these two numbers? There will be 2. So we have our 200s. There are blank 10s. So there's 4 10s in the first number, and then there's 3 10s in the second number. How many total 10s is that? We can add the blocks that I drew. You can draw these blocks just as well. You don't need the actual blocks. We can just draw them. We know what these long lines mean. There are 7 10s. Great. How many ones are there? Let's draw our ones. We know that ones are just like little squares. So there's 7 in the first number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then there's 2 over here. Let's add our ones. What are the total ones? 9 ones. And now the last step is to add all of this together. So we want to remember, we're not adding 2 plus 7 plus 9, right? That will not give us the right answer. There are 2 what? Call it right out. There's 200s. So that's the same as 200. There are 7 10s. What are 7 10s? What number is 7 10s? If you don't know off the top of your head, count it out on your fingers. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. 7 10s, whoops, is the number 70. This is the easiest one. 9 ones. What's 9 ones? That's just 9. And look at this. This is what we call expanded form, right? This is the number that we're looking for in expanded form. What is this number? 200 plus 70 plus 9. We can figure that out right in the step. Expanded form helps us do that. 2 in the hundreds place, 7 in the tens, 9 in the ones. So 247 plus 32 is 279. And look at that. I was pretty close, wasn't I? I bet you guys all were too. It was in the 70s, but it was closer to the 80s. We're only one away from 280. Let's try another one. Okay, so this time we have 623 plus 15. Which number are we going to start with? We're going to want to start with our bigger number, right? And add 15 to it. So I am going to make my blocks. If you have a piece of paper in front of you, you can make some blocks too. Make them with me. So we have 6 hundreds blocks, 2 tens, and 3 ones. How many hundreds over here? None. How many tens? 1 10. How many ones? 5 ones. Okay, so what's in our hundreds? 6 is in our hundreds, so that's the same as 600. Plus how many tens? What are our total number of tens? 2 over here, 1 over here, that's 3 tens. So is this what we would put? No, we're going to want to put 30 because 3 tens is the number 30. And then how many ones are we adding? 3 over here, 5 over here. 8. 600 plus 30 plus 8 is 638. Awesome. Let's do one more. Okay, so we have 541 plus 26. First step, to make our blocks. 2, 3, 4, 5. How many tens? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 1. How many hundreds? None. How many tens? 2 tens and ones, 6. Okay. Let's add our hundreds first. How many hundreds do we have? 5 hundreds, which is the same as 500, plus we have 4 tens over here, 2 tens over here. 40 plus 20 is 60. And our ones. We have 6 over here, 1 over here. I know in a snap, I'm just counting on 1 from 6, that is 7. 500 plus 60 plus 7. Call it right out. What is the answer to 541 plus 26? 567. Awesome job. So if you feel confident enough to go ahead and start your math journal, go right ahead and do that. If you don't feel quite confident enough to do that on your own, why don't you go back and watch this video one more time, but get a piece of paper out and follow along with me, okay? And then and draw all of the blocks as I draw them. Sometimes I find that helps me if I am doing it myself, okay?